Hi there, Leo. Welcome to your October 2015 Love Spread. It's Rena here, and I have picked some interesting cards for the month of October for you. The first card that I picked was the Hierophant card, and I looked because I had heard that it's connected to the sign of Taurus, and I totally reject that because the Hierophant card is dealing with organized religion and with higher learning, and that directly connects to the ninth house, which is Sagittarius's house, Jupiter's house. And sure enough, there are a couple of authors that connected to Sagittarius. But the reason I say all of this is that your current state of mind may be more philosophical than usual when it comes to your love life. And this can be whether you are single or you are in a bad marriage or dysfunctional long term relationship. Because I think that for those of you in this position, you may be feeling like you want something more that you haven't had in the past. And I find it very interesting making the astrological connection because just recently Saturn has gone back into Sagittarius when it went direct. It was in the last degrees of Scorpio. Now it's in Sagittarius, and that's your fifth house. So this could be that with Saturn in Sagittarius in your fifth house, which is your house, and deals with love and romance, Saturn gives it a rather serious, Saturn lends a rather serious vibe right now in terms of how you view the dating scene. And so you may not be willing to settle for just an affair. You may want to really make it official. And if you are dating someone, this card could represent you wanting to be married and conventional and traditional. And you could even be in a live in situation where you're just kind of wanting to take it to a next step in your mind, which is getting married and kind of put a ring on it type of a feeling. And the message from the universe is the Hangman card, another major arcana card. So this could be really a period right now of transition for you in the romantic department. And Saturn just went into the fifth house on September 17th, and this is quite recent. So you might be feeling the winds of change happening around you. And the Hangman card is a card of suspension, a card of waiting it out, let go and let God. It's a card of detachment and not you forcing anyone's hand. So if you feel like somebody has been stringing you along, and this might not be necessarily that you want to get married, maybe you feel like someone hasn't been honest with you and is kind of keeping you on the side, stringing you along, and not really making you officially their girlfriend or their boyfriend, and you're wondering like what's up with that. The Hangman card isn't going to really provide you any clarity because it's associated with Neptune, which is more kind of mysterious, even sometimes illusory energy that is not kind of clear at the moment. And it's really a card of sacrifice and just kind of detaching yourself from the outcome. And some of you may just be, if you're just date, you just want to date and that sort of thing, the Hierophant card might just be saying that you are not willing to settle for a frivolous love affair anymore, that you want some sort of structure attached to it. And that the Hangman is saying that you're going into a period of suspension where things might not be proceeding at this brisk pace that you would like them to. And interestingly, the Hangman is card number 12 in the Tarot. And we have a new moon coming up on October 12th. So this will fall into your third house. It's going to be in Libra. So perhaps there will be developments when things get rocking and rolling after Mercury goes direct on the 9th, and then we have the new moon on the 12th. Maybe after this period, things will start to kind of get up to speed and back to normal. And so this period of suspension may correlate to the Mercury retrograde. And basically, some of you who are more impatient with wanting things to progress might just need to hear that, and so that you're more willing to just let it be. And then we have some advice for you in the form of the Ace of Swords. So this is like really getting to the heart of the matter. For those of you who feel like you're being strung along, this is particularly apropos for you to hear this, because after the little period of suspension of the hangman, then you're going to have to see, when the smoke clears, what's what and make the necessary cuts, which is what the Ace of Swords is. That either you're going to get to the heart of the matter, or you're going to have to just cut somebody to the quick in terms of cutting them loose, maybe. If somebody is just jerking you around, I mean, that might be the outcome for that relationship that really is going nowhere. For other people, it's just really kind of finding out exactly where you're at. Now, I was trying to find this book that I had that I could have sworn that the Hierophant also refers to the law, because I thought it referred to every institution out there that's part of the social fabric. So if that's true, that the Hierophant also refers to the legal system, I do feel that some of you may be going through a divorce proceeding, and there might be some kind of holding period that is beyond your control. And if that's the case, this is a perfect period of kind of really using it for reflection on the relationship itself, because especially if you were the one who was betrayed and you feel this bitterness that your pride was hurt and the other person betrayed your trust and made a fool of you or whatever, you know, that has to be healed, right? And it's it's hard to heal something when the other person may not acknowledge that they did anything wrong. So it's very good to go within and see how you contributed to the negative situation, and not to just blame the other person, which is very easy to do if you were cheated on or somehow were blindsided and the person just kind of told you that they wanted out and you had no warning whatsoever. You probably did, but you were not really connected to the situation enough. And this is just kind of a time when it's good to tap into yourself and to really kind of be honest with yourself, and also meditate, do spiritual work in order to heal. And the Ace of Swords in this context would mean that if you're in the middle of a court case, that you just cut to the chase, get down to business, and be as truthful as possible in order to move on. For some people, this is really just a new way of thinking about life, and there's a detachment involved that maybe you didn't have before, and that's a good thing, because all fire signs can be quite emotional, especially when they feel that there was an injustice committed. And it's good, if you are going through some sort of legal matter, that you keep your wits about you and that you remain as unemotional as possible, because it's more likely that something will go in your favor if you do so. The action step that is advised to take is the Six of Pentacles. And if we take the card literally, this does have to do with material resources and being generous with them, which Leo is totally geared towards. You're a very generous sign, a very open hearted sign. But that might not be evident when you are in a court case and there is a monetary settlement involved, and maybe you are feeling like you were wronged, and so you're kind of withholding. I think this card is suggesting that you be generous even if you were betrayed, because then you'll be able to move on and you will feel like you were the bigger person rather than allow your pride to get the best of you and make you go down into that lower state of consciousness, which is totally against your nature. So it makes it you doing something that you normally wouldn't do. It's better to forgive because then you can actually move on. And as I've said before, fixed signs tend to hold grudges, and this is an energy blockage. And so, really, you're doing it for yourself when you're forgiven. Forgiving doesn't mean forgetting, and it doesn't mean have a negative thought about it again. It just means not obsessing about it and seeing the macro picture of everybody doing things to get their needs met. And even if it ends up being hurtful to you, if it makes the other person feel like they can be happy, then it's better just to see it in that context rather than judging it as you being wronged. For those who are single, it may mean something more symbolic, that you have to be more generous in thought. Maybe there is this tendency that you have to be judgmental and to be snobbish and not to give other people the benefit of the doubt or even like really acknowledge a person's full worth. And so this card would mean that you have a generosity of spirit where you see that other people have value in areas that you didn't see it before. And this could be causing you to neglect potential partners that are really actually good for you, but you just think that you're too good for them. I can't help but think that I was doing this in some reading for Leo, so it might have been a private reading. The other thing that could be like if you're single and looking, and maybe you met some, let's say you're a woman and you met a man and he doesn't make as much money as you do, and so you kind of pass him by because you're coming from this status conscious or snobbish mentality. You're missing a diamond in the rough, and you, maybe this card is saying that you can be the one who gives more monetarily to the relationship, but you're getting back in other areas. Outcome card is the Four of Cups, and normally this is a card that symbolizes ennui, dissatisfaction with life, kind of like a meh kind of attitude. But I think in this sense, it could be that, there's the depiction in the Rider Waite deck and then this Morgan Greer deck of the hand in the clouds offering a cup, and the person is not taking the cup. And the person also has three cups by him. So this can be interpreted that you just, at this time, are not interested in what is being offered. And the cups, remember, relate to the emotional life. So some of you may really not be ready to accept a relationship, and there may be opportunities for you to date, but you are just not ready, and that's okay. This doesn't have to be a negative card. This could just be you in a place right now where you need to heal. And I think it's actually a hopeful card because it's showing you that there are people out there that are willing to be with you. So I think I'll leave it there, Leo. And I wish you a great month. Until next time, bye.